He ran a 150-person company with the precision of a Swiss watch. At home, his wife would ask him a question and get nothing back. Not silence, not anger, just nothing. Like the lights were on and no one was home. This is the cost nobody puts on the balance sheet. Performing flawless executive capacity all day while spending the exact biological reserve your body needed to feel safe with the person you love most. I'm going to walk you through exactly how we mapped his pattern and exactly what we did to reverse it. Monday through Friday, this man, we'll call him David, was a machine. Decisive, unshakable, the kind of leader whose calm could talk a room back from the edge of a deal collapsing. Polyvagal theory describes a hierarchy your nervous system moves through under pressure. Ventral vagal, where you feel safe and connected. Sympathetic, your fight or flight gear. And dorsal vagal, your last resort shutdown when your body decides fighting isn't an option anymore. David spent his entire workday running in high sympathetic drive. Control, sharp, dangerous if crossed. That's what we call an armored sentry pattern. Control as the strategy that keeps threat at bay. But sympathetic drive, that intense, sustained for 8, 10, 12 hours, runs up a biological bill. In the moment David walked through his front door, his body didn't have anything left to spend on connection. It dropped straight down the ladder, past sympathetic into dorsal. Flat, disconnected. What we call a hollow pattern. Not anger, not avoidance, just total nervous system shutdown. His wife wasn't living with an unkind man. She was living with a man whose body had nothing left in the tank by the time he got home to her. They'd done the work. 3 different couples therapists over 4 years. Communication worksheets, the I feel statements. David could recite scripts perfectly. He's brilliant. That was never the issue. Here's what none of those sessions could touch. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk's research makes clear that trauma and chronic stress get stored in the body, not just in the mind, which means insight alone often can't override a nervous system that's already locked into survival conservation. David's body, every single evening, did not have the somatic safety or the prefrontal capacity available to hold an intimate conversation. It wasn't unwilling, it was unavailable. And you cannot talk your way into capacity your physiology hasn't built yet. That's the piece traditional talk therapy missed for 4 straight years. They were trying to solve a biological problem with a verbal tool. I hear this from founders every week, doing the work and watching nothing change. If that's your experience too, a light tells me to keep going deeper on this exact topic. The shift wasn't communication training, it was sequencing. First, we built what we now call the transition protocol, a deliberate decompression practice David used in his car before ever walking through his front door to discharge the sympathetic load his body was still carrying instead of unloading into his family by default. Quick question for you. Do you have a ritual that helps you actually unplug from work, or does the office tend to follow you straight into the kitchen? Tell me below. It helps me understand what to build next. Second, we introduced something we call room tone silence. Permission for the first 2 to 3 minutes home to contain 0 demands, 0 questions, 0 performance. Just presence, with no requirement attached to it. That silence wasn't withdrawal. It was the runway his nervous system needed before it could land anywhere close to connection. Within 6 weeks, David's wife reported something simple but enormous. He was there again. Not performing presence, actually present. Because his body finally had a process for putting the workday down before walking into the relationship that needed him the most. If any part of David's story sounded familiar, if you're managing flawless capacity at work and quietly flatlining at home, the free relational nervous system quiz at mind-fusion.com/quiz will help you to find your own version of this pattern before it costs you what it nearly cost him. The link is below.